Okay, this is going to be the last video for my little Chummer overview series. We've got our character loaded up here in career mode, and when I loaded it, I didn't get that, what do you call it? That error that I got last time, the orphaned qualities thing, or, or orphaned improvements. I'm not sure what that was about. Sometimes it'll say that, but it seems once the character gets all put together, it'll put everything where it needs to be. So, like I said last time, we're in career mode now, and things look a little bit different. Similar, mostly, but a little bit different. One key thing is instead of the little tickers up and down for attributes and skills, we've got this got these big buttons. And so Chummer knows the advancement tables and knows how much karma it's going to take something from one level, one rating to another. So it's only going to let you pick it if you have enough karma. Attributes are really expensive. My guy only has 5 karma, so I can't get any of those. But I can get some cheap skills, but my skills that are really high, can't do those. So that's one thing. So like, let's do a little demo for advancement. Let's say my guy gets an assault rifle or a machine pistol, so I want to get better at automatics. This only costs 2 karma. So you can't take it back once you do it. So it goes, hey, are you sure? You can say yes. Boom. Now I have 3 less karma. And that's been taken up to a rating of 1 for a total pool of 7. You'll notice edge is the only one that looks any different here. That's because this is the button to burn a point of edge. This is like burning fate in Deathwatch, or other equivalent things, or like permanent willpower damage in Vampire or whatever. Don't click that unless that's what you want to do. Your edge for a game session actually lives over here now. So you use it, it goes down, you get it back, goes back up. Don't click this unless you really mean to do it. It'll probably ask you, yeah, whoa, no. So that's really the big difference to these, is like now the system is smart. It's not just a little tick box up and down. It now understands advancement and how much karma you need to do what. It's still a good idea to kind of know, to go check the book to be like, okay, well, maybe I do want to get my blades up to rating 5. What's that going to cost me, so I can see what I need to save up for. As well, it locks things in, like your specialties and stuff. So now when you add them, you only get to choose them when you add them. So once you go to career mode, you have a lot less freedom in how you can manipulate your character, because now you have to play by the rules. You're not just deciding everything to start off with. So we'll go over what's new. This condition monitor tab. This is where the karma summary used to be. And this is really great. You're going to have this up a lot, especially during, really this is for combat. You still have your other info tab, super helpful, all this condensed information, your derived statistics. So if I'm like, hey, can you do a memory test on that to try to, remember? If you're like, oh, I remember something about that, but I can't quite get there, you can roll a memory test. So if I say roll memory, you don't necessarily need to know that it's logic plus will. But if you go to your other info tab and you find memory, there you go. But for combat, I mean, your initiative lives here. But so this is for like taking and avoiding damage. As well, it'll tell you your condition monitor penalty. So this is one of the funnest things about Chummer, is that your condition monitors are like live. So here's your physical one and your stun one. They're calculated just a bit differently. I wonder, it won't tell me the, actually it will over here. Yeah, physical is body, stun is will. And then, you can see him here. So, my guy ended up with the same amount somehow. But these work pretty fun. So when you take damage, let's say I take 2 damage, check them, kind of like vampire, and it counts up. If I click this, it's going to fill them all up, and that's not what we want. It also tells you your recovery die, how many dice you get for recovery, healing, natural healing. I'm not sure where that statistic comes from. I'll have to look into that closer in the book, but hey, it's doing the math for you. So when you get it, every 3 boxes imposes a condition monitor penalty, and it tells you that right here. And I wonder, yeah, it also computes it in your pools. How cool is that? So as you take wounds, you tick these up. So let's say I took some real big physical damage, and then someone hits me with a taser. Now my total condition monitor penalty is 3, and all of a sudden I'm not so good at some things anymore. And then as you heal, get rid of them. If you click the lowest one, it gets rid of all of them. So don't do that unless you know that's what it is. And playing a character in the middle of a session, save often. Chummer can crash. Chummer can encounter exceptions and things like that. It's not perfect. You can really trip it up if you are like trying to go crazy, clicking things all over the place. So save regularly, especially going into after combat, before a big set piece, like the final section of a run where you're infiltrating the corporate building or whatever. And here's a really important one. These are your overflow boxes. This is what kills you in Shadowrun. So let's say this means I'm down. That means my guy has 1, 2, 3, 4 turns before I'm dead. These start ticking up. Bad. You need to get stabilized between these 4 turns and here. And this is going to look very different. So my guy's not really built to take damage. I'm counting on being able to kill anyone before I get close to taking damage. But so a huge troll tank with tons of augmentations is going to have a much larger condition track. And so these can get pretty large. It also tells you your armor. So your highest armor rating, boom, gives you your defense test, which is it's dodge essentially, and it's reaction plus intuition, and then wounds, any other penalties from sustaining spells or complex forms, and then my guy's actually got combat sense. So this should only be 4, but I've got combat sense to add up power, so it's actually 10, which is pretty good. And then it also gives you your damage resistance pool. So when you take damage in Shadowrun, so let's say, let me see if I can open the dice roller, give you an example. So firstly, somebody's going to try to hit me. Let's say they got 3 hits on their test to hit me. So now I get to try to, and they just shot 1 shot, so let's say I don't have any penalties. It's good time for me. So that would mean I actually dodged it again, dodged it again, dodged it again, dodged it again, dodged it again. This time they hit me. So that time they hit me, they got 2 net hits. Let's say they're doing 9 damage. Or I don't know, let's see what like my gun does. Yeah, let's say they're doing 9 damage. They have a shittier gun than this one. So they're doing 9 damage. They got an AP of 1. So I'm going to reduce my armor by 1. Reduce my damage resistance pool by 1. So now I got 15. And every hit, ooh, see, it's not so good. So I'm gonna take 6 damage. So it's pretty simple. If you have your pools prepared for using Tabletop Sim, or I mean, really, if we're using Tabletop Sim and you just get the amount of dice quickly and roll it, we're gonna be good. Or if you use the dice roller, then uh-oh, Discord's pinging. Sorry about that. I meant to close it. If you use the dice roller in here, it's even faster. So we'll probably use the Tabletop Sim because it's really fun to roll tons of dice for Shadowrun. But if ever speed is an issue, or maybe you don't have access to tabletop sim for a session or whatever, you can use the dice roller in Chummer, but it is a little clunky. But so that's just a little explanation of what this what this menu's for, and once again, your edge lives here. This is the same. It's just all filled out now. This is the same. Common skills. We looked at how these work now, and so this is good. So now I can do just the ones I've invested in. Show skills active rating over 0. Show skills total rating over 0 shows you actually what skills you're able to default on. What do I have that I'm actually that is able to be defaulted on, and I have a high enough attribute that I can default on it and still have dice. So like my guy's not a tracker, but still got 3 dice because it's just initiative or attribute -1. So if you had 1 in an attribute and you defaulted on a skill tied to that attribute, you got nothing. But yeah, so it tells you that. Limits, you can see my various limits, limit modifiers. These will usually be kind of to the thing that you're good at. Social people will have tons of social things. A Decker or a Technomancer is going to have tons of mental things. Combat people are going to have lots of physical things. Mages are going to have a bunch of astral stuff. Spells and spirits, you can see this is all filled out. Technically, you can switch your tradition at any time. I think that would be something that would require role playing, but once again, most of them are about the same. Got all my adept powers here, things all filled out, very nice. And for adept powers, you can see, because I don't have any PowerPoint, so I can't actually add anything. It'll open that, but it won't let me. Spells here, I think you get a number of spells requisite to your magic rating, so if you improve your magic rating, you get more spells. Or maybe you can just buy them, but they'll all be here. Initiation, the initiation grade button is now lit up, except I don't have enough karma. And then there's all kinds of other things with initiation here. So this is kind of advanced stuff. We'll get into that. Cyberware and Bioware would be all displayed here as per usual. It would look a little bit different. I'll show you some of the things about weapons that kind of applies here. Vehicles and drones would look the same. We'll do gear. So I actually made some mistakes in the last one, and so now I can show you some extra bits here actually because of that. So I bought 2 fake sins like an idiot, which this could be a good idea, but you wouldn't want to buy 2 with the same name. So you can see this button, reduce quantity of gear by 1. In creation, when you get rid of something, it goes, oh, you don't want that? Cool. It refunds the karma, it refunds the Nuyen, whichever it was. If it's a focus, it does both. But this is cool. If you have multiple things, you can split them. You can merge stacks of the same item together. Very smart. Just be careful. Try not to break it. You can see you got this button for wireless. So if I go over to my gun, yeah, wireless. You can click that on or off, and it's got a smart gun system. Gives me +2 accuracy if it's wireless. So you got to know the wireless bonus for the gun, but you should be able to find that in the reference. So if you want to add that as a note to your gun instead of the, basic description, very helpful. All of it's very helpful. But so back to this. So if you hit this, say, hey, are you sure? How many do you want to get rid of? 1? Do I want to reduce it by 1? Yes. It didn't give me any extra more money. I didn't sell it to anyone. That just gets rid of it. It's gone now. So goes to show. So I was doing my thing pretty fast last time, that you want to take your time and you want to give yourself a little pass through your full thing, and that's also why we want to have that backup happen that we checked in the setup phase, because you don't want to have it do something like that where you're like, oh, I spent 7,600 nuyen that I didn't mean to on nothing. Oopsie. You don't want to do that. So be careful. And yes, you can't. If you buy something in here to see like, oh, what does this look like, and then you get rid of it, you don't get that money back. It just deletes it. And then all of a sudden we have to go in here and add the money back in for you, and your record's going to look like a mess. But we'll talk about that in a moment. Going over to weapons have a lot of extra functionality here. So let's talk about, the sword looks like a sword. You can just see its matrix condition monitor. Anything that has a wireless ability, anything that can be connected wirelessly has a matrix condition monitor. This means, for example, for my gun, if a decker is trying to hack my gun and destroy it, which these don't fill like these, not quite. They're a little weird. Yeah, they're just a little, it's a little glitchy. So if you click them and then come back to it, they fill up. It is working. It's just a little laggy for some reason. But so basically if this gets filled up, the thing breaks. They've successfully overheated or somehow impeded its functionality. But so guns are pretty cool. So it's got this slot thing, so it knows I've got the clip in the gun for free, and then I've got 2 spare clips. So if I click here, or yeah, okay, yeah. So you click reload, and it. So I've got slot 1. Let's say I want slot 1 to have APDS rounds. It has a 15 ammo capacity. Click yes. Slot 1 now has 15 APDS rounds in it. If I go back to my gear where my ammo is, you can see that it's telling me that it took 15 of my pistol APDS rounds and loaded it. And if you don't want to see that, because it'll instance these out one by one. So let me go ahead and load the rest of my slots here. Reload. Put stick and shock in this one, and then next one, put stick and shock in this one. Sometimes it's nice to be non-lethal. You can switch between these. You can see too that the damage here changes, and other stuff will change as it goes. Coincidentally, APDS rounds have as much armor piercing as stick and shock, but stick and shock does stun damage, not physical damage, so it's a little less dangerous, but it is really good. So that's how that works. Same thing for the sniper rifle. And for this, I only have 1 type of ammunition, so it actually just went, okay. Just auto complete. So if all you have is 1 type of ammunition for that type of weapon, it just goes, no problem, boom, done. And then here's a really cool thing. So Chummer knows the actions. So for a heavy pistol, you only have single shot and short burst. But for, say, an assault rifle, you get long burst, full burst, and suppressive fire. These each shoot different amounts of bullets. So if I do a short burst, boom, takes the ammo out. And then let's say I do 2 more of those. Whew, nice. Firefight done. Got, I running up, did a couple of shots, killed the rest of the guys with my sword or whatever. Now I'm back at the pad, can reload it with the APDS rounds, and you can see I'm worked through a large, and it's kind of like video game reloading, where you well, I mean, it's like you take it back and you manually reload it out of the ammo crate, put the bullets back in. And then if you're like, okay, well, I want a completely different loadout for this one, you can click unload, and it pops it back into the relevant ammo container. So if you're on a mission, we'll assume that only your clips are what you have. You're not just carrying around a big like ammo crate with you. And then here's a cool thing: hide loaded ammo, because it can get kind of messy if you're like a gunslinger adept and you have tons of guns. And I mean, like even this is like, but boom. And then I don't know what this is for. Only show comm links. But if you need just to know about, if you're like, fuck, I'm getting hacked. Where's my fucking comm link? Boom. Okay. Cool. So that's weapons. That's one of my favorite things about Chummer, is that it can do that. It helps you with ammo tracking, because that can be kind of difficult. It can be kind of annoying, but this does it for you. You just have to remember to hit the button. Fire, without the other options, is just 1. So I don't know if you accidentally just hit fire, but you're like, oh shit, I meant to do a short burst. Then just okay, you do have to select, even if it still displays, you have to be clicking, to be selected to this. But what I was saying was, if you meant to do something and you just hit single shot, then just shoot it until you get the right amount. Just try to watch out for that. Okay, so that's weapons, lifestyles. Much like in, what do you call it, character creation, you can purchase additional months. So if I have tons of money after a good run, I'm like, all right, I don't want to worry about rent for a while. You can prepay months of rent, and then you don't got to worry about it for that many months. This looks the same. You can see that it's, well, this is a little different. So your street cred should go up by every 10 karma, rounded down. Or I can say, hey, that was a good run, street cred. Notoriety, I give you this if you're like a complete psycho, or you turbo botch a run or something like that, and it can be bought with street cred. You can get rid of your notoriety by sacrificing street cred. Public awareness is fame amongst normal people, good or bad. Astral reputation is really for mages only. It's how you treat spirits. It makes summoning easier or harder. And then the rest of this is the same. Karma Nuyen. This is a big log of what you got when you got it. So this will be because I'll ask for your guys' character files at regular intervals. So if I'm like, why the fuck did you get 75 Nuyen? Well, or 75 karma, and why'd you buy like a bunch of skills? Not that I think you guys would do that, but here's where it'll be. So, but if you're ever like, wait, where did that karma go? Where did that Nuyen go? Shouldn't I have X? Shouldn't I have Y? You can see it here. It gives you a real-time Earth date. You can do show free entries too. Or you can have it be a chart. How cool is that? You can see your money blowing up. It's like EVE Online in here. You can also edit expenses, descriptions, the amount, and then for run rewards, this is where you do it. You could karma or Nuyen gained or karma gained. Why did you get it? Maybe it's not a mission reward. I just picked up some poor idiot's cred stick, and then it has a refund thing, which is pretty cool. So if you do buy something and then have to get rid of it, you can click this, and it doesn't count towards your total career Nuyen. And I think this is for the day job quality, I think. Got karma. I don't know what those do. Try to find that. And then maybe if something miscellaneous comes up, you know, I had to pay a guy $50 to get some info. You put it here. Miscellaneous karma expense. I don't know, but something. There's something for it. Calendar. Here's a cool one. So, you know, you click add week. So we'll do this when we play the first session, and it'll ask for a starting year, month, week. I don't know what exactly that'll be, so we'll just hit OK. Boom. And then you can take some notes on the week. So, you know, first mission, everyone died. And I think adding weeks like that, I think every 4 or 5 weeks you have to pay lifestyle, or it's that it'll just be sort of when I feel like it. Game notes, super useful. Here you can keep all of your like running notes, and it even has bullet points. You can indent stuff too. It's like a full text editor, so you can keep all your notes in here, so there's no excuse not to take notes. Improvements, sort of like limits, where you can add a custom limit modifier. You can add custom improvements. So if a piece of gear or quality doesn't have, you know, if Chummer ever doesn't do something automatically, or if we just decide on a custom thing, so, you know, when you add something that's supposed to do something, do check that it did it. It does a pretty great job most of the time, but sometimes it won't. So you can put it here. So let's say I have like some sort of base armor modifier. Where is it coming from, and then how much armor is it? So we can if it's a tangible stat, we can manipulate it. But you know, what attribute is it? How much? So we can do a lot with this. Do not don't just assume. If you want, you can pass your file to me. I'll do it and then add it back to you. So hopefully we don't need to mess around too much with this, but it's there. And then here's where your contacts will be stored as well. And so there's another lesson, is that it'll validate your character. It does a lot to help you, but it will let you do shit like start the game with no contacts, and those contact points are gone. If I want to add a contact now, I have to pay karma for it. So that's something that I would want to go back to my creation file and fix. And then that's pretty much it. All the stuff I wanted to show about career mode. Really, this is the main different thing, and you know, just a bunch of extra options come unlocked as well. If you go to gear, we no longer have any kind of what do you call it, availability check here, because in character creation the maximum availability you could get is 12F. That is no longer the case. You can try to obtain anything in the game. Is it going to work? Maybe not, but you can, yeah, 13. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Oh wait, that's damage. Dwee. Yeah, okay, look at this. 20F. That's pretty hard to obtain. What even is this thing? Or Mattis. Laser shotgun. That's pretty cool, huh? So you can see, you can now look at everything. And one cool thing that I didn't show off last time that I think is around for armor and weapons is this browse tab. This takes a second to load. It takes a real second to load. It's going to load every weapon in the game. This might be a little easier if you click show only items I can afford. It really takes a second, so don't do this in the middle of a game. Maybe, oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. So that was scary, but it did work. And this is insane. This is a huge spreadsheet of every single weapon in the entire game. This didn't used to be in Chummer. It's a new feature. So usually I say that like Chummer's not for browsing, or maybe if you just did it by category, that would be easier. It probably works a lot better that way. Let's try that. Let's say I want to buy myself an assault rifle for that automatic skill that I bought. Yeah, okay. Don't do it from the full list. That was scary. Boom. So you can be like, ooh, damage. What do I got? Firing modes. It tells you everything you need to know about it. Note that the reference button does not work from this. This is a dumb sheet. It just takes what would be in the full weapon view and puts it here. So if you want something after that, gun heaven, rainforest carbine. Yeah, so pretty cool. Just be careful with that browse mode. You saw that it'll freak out. So save character, and do save. It does do auto saves, but like I said, I've tried to load from that, and it doesn't like it. So save manually often. You never know when you're gonna do something that's gonna just upset the poor thing, but it seems a lot more stable than it used to be, and it won't freeze up completely. Skills even load faster when you have them sorted, and it saves what you were sorting it by. Super helpful. Got our qualities here. You can see negative qualities. They still have this, but they won't give it to you. So let's take asthma. Yep. Are you sure you want to add this negative quality? You won't be getting any karma for adding it. So negative qualities after character creation are just for, I'll give them to you if something happens. Positive qualities you can still take if you're like, hey, I want this thing. Cool. But it is... So not only do I not have enough karma for the 8, but it is... they cost twice the amount that they do in the book. So that you don't just spend all your karma on that. You gotta improve other parts of your character. You don't just want to be quality man 9,000. That doesn't really make any sense, and probably won't result in a good character if you try to do it. So if you try to do that, I'll just stop you and be like, hey, no, get something else. One cool thing you can do is, say if you have like addiction or something, you can increase the level of it, or you can swap it out for something else. That's pretty cool. But that's really about, yeah, that's about it. That's still there, so you can reference it. This, I can't figure it out. Carried weight. It seems like really useful to see what kind of stuff, like how much you can carry, how much you're equipped with. But I tried to like unequip and re-equip things, and it never ticks up, so I'll do some research into that. But like I've said twice now, that's it for career mode. Let me know if you have any questions, but this is what it'll look like from a session-to-session basis for you once we actually play the game. Thanks for watching these. I hope they were helpful. I'm sorry how many times I said and so yeah and coughed, but it is what it is. Once again, thanks for watching, and have fun out there in the shadows.